What about your other class fellows? Yeah, Sachin, how was your paper, Sachin?
यस सर.
How was your paper?
सर मैंने दिया नहीं था सर, क्योंकि सर नेटवर्क इशू था सर यहाँ पे.
यही नहीं
नो सर.
देना चाहिए था ना, क्या फायदा?
सर दे
नेटवर्क
नहीं
इशू क्या
पाया
होता
ना
है?
सर, नेट ही नहीं चल रहा था एरिया में, पता नहीं क्यों उस दिन.
अच्छा,
मेरे 2 एग्जाम थे, दोनों रह गए थे सर.
चलो कोई बात नहीं, फिर दे देना.
ओके सर.
अपने यहाँ तो वैसे ही होते ही रहते हैं.
नहीं नहीं सर, ऐसा
यूनिवर्सिटी वालों ने तो सोचा हुआ है भाई तुमको पास तो करना ही है, तो कभी भी हो जाओगे, कोई बात नहीं.
नो सर. नहीं सर, वो दे ही नहीं पाया सर. मैंने सर मैम को कॉल भी
अरे
किया
कोई
था
नहीं,
कि
बात करो. या अतिन गोयल, हाउ वाज योर पेपर माय डियर?
Sir,
या अतिन, हाउ वाज योर पेपर? Did it went on well?
good sir.
Excellent. Excellent. Good. So only 3 of you are there today, right?
यस सर.
Rest of the class may be joining, or what is the scene?
सर मैसेज कर देता हूँ ग्रुप में सर.
हैं?
टेक्स्ट कर देता हूँ सर ग्रुप पे सर.
तो बेटा कर दो.
ओके सर.
If they want to come, they can join. Nitin has also joined. Rohit has also joined. Fine. Yes, let us start the new topic today, and we will be talking about the financing of companies now. Let us just see what we have done till date. Whatsoever we have done, and accordingly we will start the new topic. Okay. Yes. So let me share the screen with you. Yeah. I hope you are able to see this. So this is the lecture plan. So introduction
Yes,
we
sir.
have gone with. Okay. History and all this is also legal. What is corporate personality and legal? These all things. Formation of a company. We have already done this topic too. Capital financing of the companies. This is remaining. This we will do. We will be doing shortly. Types of companies we have already done. Formation of a public limited company done. Memorandum of association, article association done. So up till here we have done except lecture number 5. So today we will be discussing something about the capital and the financing of the company, that what are the financial structure and capital, and then afterwards we will be taking the prospectus and then company's membership, and then we will proceed further the rest of the slides, right? So that is what we will be doing now today. So this is about, you can say, financing of the company itself. You can see this PPT over here. So if we see the financing of the companies, then we start with the capital portion. So the most important thing with which we talk about the financing of a company is the capital, because whenever we start our own business, we ourselves are the source of the you can say investment, or you can say source of the capital which we invest in our own sole proprietorship itself. So when we are talking about the company, then company has to collect its capital from the general public and from the own sources too. So when we are talking about the capital of the company, the word capital means the share capital, because it's a company. So share capital is nothing but the but the share in the capital. So share capital is nothing but the share in the share capital of a company is called a share capital, right? So all the contributors, whosoever have joined hands together in order to form a company, they will contribute their own portion of the money in the company, right? And that particular you can say share is called the share capital. Means because it is a capital which is shared by all the stakeholders, all the members of the company, not the stakeholders, all the shareholders, or you can say all the members of the company. And it is divided into a specified number of shares because the total capital is divided into specified number of shares and then they share it. Okay, so for example, if we have to arrange for suppose 10 lakh rupees, at that time what will happen? We will arrange for this 10 lakh and we have total 10 people. So everyone will provide a share of 1 lakh rupees and there will be 10 people, and the association is called company because this 10 lakh has been collected in order to invest and then produce profits afterwards. So where we talk about the capital in the different sense, it is nominal capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, called up capital, and paid up capital. So we will be discussing about these types of capital also, and the other things also. Let me just take you to various parts of this particular PPT, and we'll share this PPT with you afterwards so that you can refer it for your exams and for your understandings. So meaning of share, we will be doing. A share is a share in the capital of the company. So kinds of shares we will be talking about, and then a difference between preference and the equity shares, and then issue of securities at premium, utilization of share premium, discounts, and then redemption of shares. Bonus shares is also one of the shares. Right shares we will be doing with. There are two schemes which are called employee options, stock option and employee purchase scheme, and then again the share capital which are already over here. We will better start from here itself, right? And then we will be talking about, you can say, the share, how the shares are issued, calls in arrears in advance and under and over capitalization of shares, and then a little bit about, you can say, borrowing or the debt capital, not in depth, borrowing in debentures and its types, what are the debentures and this particular chapter, right? So let us start from the types of the shares, you can say, right? So as we already know, share is a share in the share capital of the company, and the share capital is a sum of money which is received by a company by selling its shares into the investors. So what at the time of selling the shares means? So selling the shares means you are actually giving a security in writing to the shareholders, and because company is having a separate legal entity, so as a separate legal entity, what will be the guarantee of the company? So this particular document which is signed with the common seal is a document of you can say security among the shareholders of the company, and in exchange of that it takes the money, the shareholders, and that money is invested in the company's you can say venture, and then company earns out of it, and then whatever dividend is received, the dividend is also distributed among the shareholders, right? So when a company issues a shares to the investors and raise fund, directly increases the value of the shares. So whenever it can be done directly also, and the amount of total share capital cannot be more than the amount of authorized share capital of the company. So company first has to declare that how much will be the authorized share capital of the company, and then only it can take the money. Increase in the market price of the share does not affect the value of the share capital, because share capital is calculated on the par value of the shares and not on the basis of the market price. So market, when we talk about market price of the share, then market price will come up to us when the shares will be dealt in the market, right? So in case of private company, it is not possible. So in case of public limited company, because shares will be sold in the market, because there is a free transferability of shares in case of public limited company, but that market price is nothing to do with the value which we are taking, because it is totally on the basis of the par value, right? The types of the shares, as we have already know, Authorized share capital or nominal share capital is one and the same thing. Issued capital, subscribed, called up, and paid up. So we will discuss this one by one. So authorized share capital is a share capital which refers to the total capital, that amount which is stated in the memorandum of association. So the authorized share capital is the limit beyond which a company cannot issue its shares. So it has to first determine the limit beyond which the company cannot issue its share. So what the thing is, you might be thinking, okay, limit hi to hai, so we can keep any limit about suppose 10,000 crores, but I don't need that. But let me tell you, the stamp duty of the memorandum of association is actually on the basis of the authorized capital. So what happens in the normal case of in the normal parlance is that this authorized capital is kept only to that level up to which the company has to issue the shares. Okay, and then whenever it needs, it can increase the authorized capital. So it will be foolish to invest so much of money in the form of a stamp duty, because we do not immediately need that much of limit which is which we want authorized capital to be. Okay, so this maximum capital for which a company is authorized is to issue shares in its lifetime. Okay, so it can be increased also, as I've already told you. It represents the capital with which the company is registered, and that's why it is called registered capital also, it is called authorized capital also, it is called nominal capital also. Okay, so beyond which the company cannot issue its shares. Now, what is issued capital? So it is actually that part of authorized capital which is issued by the company to its shareholders or investors, which is called issued capital. Subscribed capital is nothing but a part of the issued capital for which the people have subscribed for. Okay, so people have subscribed. Suppose, for example, I have an authorized capital of rupees 10 lakh, out of which I have issued capital of rupees 5 lakh, but people have applied only for 4 lakhs. So authorized capital will be 10 lakhs, issued capital will be 5 lakhs, and subscribed capital will be 4 lakhs. Suppose we have only asked for, you can say, 40 rupees per share, 40 rupees on 10,000 shares. So 4 lakh only we have asked for. Rest 60 is to be called. Okay, so rest 60 is uncalled capital. Okay, so this all things I think you might be knowing. You might have studied this in your wealth class also. Anyways, so called up share capital is that part of capital which has been called. Okay, suppose out of this 10 rupees share, I have called for 4 rupees only. So called up capital will be 40. Sometimes called up capital is equal to subscribed capital. Okay, so because when there is 100% subscription, paid up share capital is that part of called up capital which is actually paid, or you can say it is a paid up capital is equal to called up capital minus calls in arrears. So if there are certain calls in arrears, some people have not paid the call money, then that particular calls in arrears will be. For example, the ABC Limited is registered with a capital of rupees 1 crore, divided into shares of rupees 10 each. It issues 8 lakh shares to raise a fund of 80 lakhs, but investors subscribe for 6 lakh shares. A company calls for rupees 4 per share out of rupees 10, that is nominal value of share, and it receives a payment of 5 lakh and 50,000 shares. So what will be the authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital, and called up capital in this case that you have to determine? Yeah, any one of you, what will be the situation? Yes, Bhavesh. First of all, how much is the authorized capital of this company? Atin, Bhavesh and Atin, you have to answer. Come on. Yes, guys. See, we are talking of the authorized capital. So 1 crore rupees is the authorized capital, which is divided into 10 rupees shares. So how much shares are 10 lakh share of rupees 10 each is there? Okay. So authorized capital is 10 lakh share of rupees 10 is, that is 1 crore. Issued share is 8 lakh shares you have issued of rupees 10 each. This is the issued capital, 80 lakhs. Subscribed capital is people have actually applied for 6 lakh shares, and because you have called only for 4 rupees, so 24 lakhs will be the subscribed capital. Paid up capital is 5 lakh 50,000 into 4, that is 22 lakhs, and call scenario will be 50,000 into 4, that is 2 lakhs. So this will be the answer for this particular problem. Okay, is it okay? Bhavesh, Atin?
Yes, sir.
Getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Further now. So what is share allotment? So when a company receives an application issued by means of prospectus, it proceeds to allot the shares on a predetermined basis, which is a set of prospectus. Okay, so where the application exceeds the available shares, the allotment is made on a proportional basis, or you can say pro rata basis. Through often applications for the shares to the stated number are accepted in full. Okay, so the allotment of share is made by means of a letter of allotment. So this entitles a recipient to a certificate for the number of shares stated in the letter, and this title may, however, depend on his paying the number or paying the sum previously stated due. So allotment of a share is to what extent a person will become the owner of the company. Okay, so if he is allotted more shares, he will become owner of the company owner of a large part of the company. If he is allotted less shares, then he will be owner of small part. So this allotment is done by giving him the share certificate. Okay, so that's what. So issue of shares can be done either at par or at premium or at discount. So when the shares are issued at par, when they are issued at a price equal to the face value, right? 10 rupees share issued at 10 rupees. Okay, so that is par. So price of the share is also 10 and it is also issued at 10. So when the shares are issued at the price over and above its face value, suppose face value is 10 and I am selling the shares at 12, so 2 rupees will be the premium. Discount is when the price is less than its face value. For example, 10 rupees share is there and I am selling it at rupees 9. So discount will be of 1 rupee. Calls in arrear. Calls in arrear, as the name suggests, arrear. Arrear means something remaining. So those, you can say, shares in which the call has not been paid or any shareholders fail to pay a certain amount, that is called calls in arrear. Calls in advance is something which the shareholders might have paid in advance without asking for them, but they can do it, and company normally doesn't refuses someone. If someone is paying you advance, you cannot refuse it. Okay, so but that doesn't mean that company is going to eat it up. That has been credited in his account. Whenever the call will be made, it will be adjusted. So calls in advance is also one of the thing which can be over and above what has been divided. Under subscription and over subscription of shares. So sometimes number of shares which are applied for by the public is less than the number of shares offered to the companies by the company. It's called under. For example, the company has offered 10 lakh shares in the market, but the people have applied for 15 lakh shares. Now because you have asked for 10 lakh shares, you cannot allot 15 lakh shares. That's why it will be called over subscription. This is oversubscribed. Okay, that is the second one. Under subscription means if I have asked for 10 lakh shares and people have applied only for 8 lakh shares. Now this is a under subscription by 2 lakhs. Okay. Debt capital. I hope I am able to clear your doubts about the share capital. Yes, any doubt till now? Any doubt? Anyone?
No, sir.
Talk about debt capital. Debt capital is a borrowing, or you can say the debentures. So borrowing, in order to run a business effectively, we have to take the adequate amount of capital, but sometimes it is limited, and our business is demanding more. Because a business, we can see there is a lot of opportunity in the business. So what we will be doing is we will be arranging for some debt also. So there are two types of sources: internal sources and external sources of debt. Internal sources, number one is our own equity share capital using, because the same equity shareholders can be asked to give some loan also to the company. So the equity shareholders are also one of the internal source of borrowing. Further, there are certain accumulated funds which the company has accumulated over a period of time, that can also be used by the company. In the case of external sources, you can go for some external commercial borrowings, you can go for debentures, bank loan, and the fixed public deposits, or you can say you can ask the deposit, but this can be done only by those companies which are finance companies, the fixed deposit part. Okay, so the power of a company to borrow is also one of the very, very strong power, and unauthorized or ultra virus borrowing actually makes the put the companies in soups. So what happens? Ultra virus borrowing means that the directors of the company are authorized by the memorandum and the articles of association not to go beyond a limit for the borrowing of the company. If they do so, then they can go for injunction. Then those people whose money are stuck in this, they can go for injunction and recovery. They can go for subrogation, and they can suit against the director. So injunction and recovery, you can stop the money, you can inject the money, and you can recover the money at once at that time. But if the money has already been spent, now what will you do? So at that time, the doctrine of subrogation applies. Subrogation means you come at the place of that person who has actually taken that money. So you wear the shoes of that person, you come at the place of that person who has actually taken the money, and then this is called doctrine of subrogation. Further, you can also file a suit against the directors for recovery of the amount. So at that time, this will become an unlimited suit for the directors also. Okay, so the amount which a company is having a power to borrow, if it goes beyond, then there will be some legal consequences, which is called ultra vires borrowing or unauthorized borrowing also. What are the various types of borrowings? A is your long-term borrowing and the short-term borrowing on the basis of the term. There can be two types of borrowing: long-term borrowing, short-term borrowing. On the basis of security, there can be secured, unsecured debts, and on the basis of the participation, you can say there can be private borrowing, or you can say there can be public borrowing. So on the long term basis of, suppose for example we are asking for a loan of 5 years or more, then it will be called a long term borrowing, or if it is less than that, then it will be called short term borrowing. So in case of secured or unsecured, when our debt is supported by a collateral security, then it is called a secured debt or secured borrowing. Or when it is not such, there is no such, you can say, collateral security, then it is called unsecured borrowings. Okay, so sometimes this is also called unsecured debt compromise also. Okay. Further, private borrowing and public borrowing are there. So private borrowing are those borrowing which are taken internally from the companies itself. Public borrowing is when you are asking the general public, when you are asking the general public to give the debenture. So that is called a public borrowing. Borrowing on a security of a property of a company, at that time you can uh, keep that particular property as a collateral with the company, with the bank or a financial institution, and then you can go for. So there will be a legal mortgage or a specific part of a property which is to be kept, okay, as a for a mortgage. So mortgage of a movable property can also be done. You can issue the bonds. Bonds is something, a promise which in which you promise to pay certain amount of money after a certain period of time. Okay, issuing promissory notes and bills of exchange is also one sort of thing which can be done also by, not only by the corporates but by the individual person, and you can even pledge your goods for the purpose of short term. So these are the types of borrowings, or you can say security in the property of the borrowings. Further is the debenture. So according to section 230 of the Companies Act 2013, debenture, it actually includes debenture stock, bonds, or any other instrument of a company which actually evidences the debt, or which actually tells that you have taken a debt, whether constituting a charge on the assets of the company or not. So debenture covers both type of things, whether secured or unsecured. In short, you can understand that debentures are nothing but the debt capital of the company, which is issued in order to take some money on with or without mortgage of the assets of the company. Okay, so kinds of debenture on the basis of convertibility, it can be non-convertible debentures, partly convertible, and fully convertible debentures. On the basis of security, it can be secured and unsecured debentures, and on the basis of redemption, it can be redeemable debentures or perpetual or irredeemable debentures also. So those debentures which at the time of maturity cannot be converted into shares, or you can say it will be liquidated only in form of money, these are called non-convertible debentures. Partly convertible debentures means which a part of which can be converted into equity shares and remaining part is to be paid in cash, then it is called partly convertible debentures. Fully convertible debentures actually automatically converts into equity shares of the company at the time of its redemption. So they are called convertible shares. Security, secured shares and unsecured, those debentures which are secured by the mortgage of the property is called secured debentures. Those debentures which are not secured by the property is called unsecured debentures. Redemption, or we can say redeemable debentures, are those debentures which will be repaid after a period of time, or you can say after the expiry for which the debentures have been issued, and by the time you will keep on getting the interest. And irredeemable debentures are those which once you have given to a company will not be redeemed. It only a rate of interest, certain rate of interest the people will be getting are called irredeemable debentures. Now here comes your assignment. So you have to write the distinction between shares and debentures by your own. I've already told you about it, and you can also do it by yourself. So this will be a question which you have to submit on your writing. Okay. Now we will not discuss more about the issues of debentures because this is not. Otherwise, there is again the entire things about the issues of debentures. So this is all about your financing of your the company, right? Yeah. Yes, guys. Okay then. I hope you have understood today's class well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thanks for listening me and participating also in between from time to time. That's great. Ekta, you joined us a little bit late today. It was an interesting class, I suppose. Anyways, no problem. You can cope with this video itself, right, Ekta?
Just 5 days later, sir. I was only
Okay,
five
you have
minutes.
listened everything. That's so nice of you. That's great.
About
Right.
answer sheets.
Yeah, answer sheets actually what happened. I evaluated it on my mobile, and I was about to transfer it, and some answer sheet actually were not transferred, and I pulled the pen drive out, and some were transferred. Again, I have to check it. So my work has increased. No problem. I will do it for all of you. Okay,
Marks list.
so probably tomorrow you will get your copies. Maybe tonight itself, or maybe I may be giving it after some time. Okay. So
It's
take care.
list.
Okay,
Mark,
fine then. Uh,
excuse me, sir.